So, during one of the 400 million takes that I did for the last video, I found myself coming out with something which it made sense to me, and I wanted to see if it made sense with other people. I've always tried to find a way of describing ADHD to my loved ones, my colleagues, and people around me in a way that would allow them to understand me in the moments where I am struggling or where I am emotionally dysregulated, and give them the information and the tools that's necessary to be able to understand me in that moment rather than judging me for the negative of the moment. And I've always struggled to find a way to put it to people. And it doesn't matter how close they are, whether it's your partner, whether it's a friend, or whether it's a colleague. I actually found myself walking out on a job recently, only a couple of months ago, because I tried to explain to one of my colleagues who was having a go at me for something, that it's something that I struggle with my ADHD, and he threw it in my face and said that it's nothing, you're using it as nothing more than an excuse, and his son has ADHD and this, that, the next thing, and the attitude that I got from him, who's got a son with ADHD, watching me struggle with my ADHD, that really hurt, and it overwhelmed me to the point whereby I literally went, nah, fuck the lot of you, and I walked out on the job. But it's the same sort of attitude that I've experienced from other people as well. I mean, right the way down to my ex-partner. If I were to try and explain elements of my ADHD and how that's impacting in the moment, it would be seen as though I am making an excuse. And during one of the takes of my last video, I was spouting crap, and I came out with this thing that it's like a tree. The ADHD is like a tree, and the trunk is the ADHD. And as that tree grows and the branches develop at the top, that's where you get all the other elements of ADHD. So one of the things that I did is, you have to excuse my drawing because I don't do drawing, but you've got the trunk of ADHD, and then as it grows, the branches develop, and those branches can be any number of things. They're very personal to each person. I mean, some of the ones that I jotted down was, you've got the branches of anxiety, you've got the branches of intrusive thoughts, the branch of depression, your branch of self-worth, the branch of addiction, you've got the branch of family, marriage, job, you've got branches of rejection sensitivity, you've got branches of emotional dysregulation. And one of the things that I've noticed over the years, and this is the bit that I'm wondering whether or not other people can relate to, is that if you try to focus and fix any one area of your life, one of these branches, the other branches around it become massively impacted, and it's almost as if you don't have the ability to be able to focus on more than one area of your life at the same time without all areas falling to pieces. So for me personally, I might be able to go to work and maintain my job, but there are other areas of my life that will suffer as a consequence. So I might be able to maintain my job, but my addiction levels might go up, or I might be able to bring down my cannabis usage, but then areas of my relationship will suffer, or I might be able to work on other parts of me at the detriment to other parts of me. So I might be able to work on the addiction at the request of my partner or my ex or whatever, but then that will then shake the other branches that are on the tree, and your anxiety kicks up, or your depression plays up, or when you fail to live up to the expectations of those that are around you. And I think that's a really big one, is that sense of failing to live up to the expectations of those that are around you, your loved ones, your family, your friends, your colleagues. And when you're trying to improve your life, people say that you need to do it a step at a time. But when you've got ADHD and the trunk of your tree is ADHD, it's almost as if all the other elements that come with it mean that you're not able to fix any one of those branches, certainly not on your own. And I was just wondering whether or not other people have found that in their life, that with their ADHD, they find themselves being able to focus on an area of their life and improve it, and focus on it and obsess about it, and do all the research into addiction and coping mechanisms and strategies and all the rest of it. But what you don't, when it's not until you sort of step back and you realize, I've made fantastic progress on this, but I didn't realize that all these other areas of my life was slipping. It's like one of the ones that I will notice personally is hygiene and things like that. I'm not a dirty person or anything like that, but yeah, getting in the shower can be overwhelming. The water hitting my body, the sensory overload, and you just don't want to do it. But you'll put extra effort into doing those things at the behest of something else in your life, and I'm just wondering if other people have found that managing to make any form of progress, or what feels like progress, on multiple grounds with their ADHD, has that ever been something that you've all struggled with?